It happens. I get it. At the end of the day, I think again, it comes back to like no one knew what the fuck was going on. And so everything that was happening was a brand new idea. Okay, I'm sure you can attest to that. You were in the major label system and they were like, okay, this dude is coming from these blogs, but we're still trying to treat him like he's a 1997 or 1998 rapper, and we need to put him with, like you said, Bruno, Justin Timberlake. We got to make these really big records that are going to work rather than doubling down on what you had already been doing and be like, yo,
Right.
GFC and Y, here's a bunch of money. Go do what you got to do.
So that's the interesting thing. So like, I got signed because I put together this 20-song demo project and I gave it to Jeff, and he was like, "Okay, let's do a deal." Because a lot of the records were pre-LMFAO, so like a lot of the stuff was dance hip hop.
Yeah.
That LMFAO began to start doing right after I got signed. The Justin, I had this record with Bruno that I had got done before the B.O.B. record, but I just held on to it. And that record was a Lupe record first. But no, the B.O.B. record was a Lupe record first. I had a record called Click Clack. And apparently Bruno just sent this record to everybody. So there's a Dickie Simmons version, there's a Mickey Fax version, and there might be an Asher Roth version somewhere online, right?
Shouts out to Asher.
Yeah, that was my guy.
We got to get him on soon as well.
Yeah.
You know, the John Legend record. So he was on tour with Sade. And
I remember that.
It was an overseas tour that he was on, and he came into the city and was like, "I want to work with Mickey Fax." Wow. On his day off, like the next day, he had a show in New York. So it was his day off, and we kind of linked up and did a record. Wow. So that was not a Jive RCA manufactured kind of scenario. That was an actual organic kind of thing. The Justin record, I was singing on one of the records, and Jive thought that getting Justin on the song would blow it up even more. The issue was the pop record department, even though they loved the record, they didn't want to invest, because now how you guys said $10,000 in an 8-ball for Hot 97, Z100 is like 80 to 90 grand.
Yeah.
At that time. This is before like, you know, what it is now. So like,
no, be clear. Be clear. It's not different now. In fact, it might be more expensive.
Yeah.
It's like $250 to $500 to break a top 40 record.
Yes. So. It takes a lot of money. So, you know, that at that time it was 90 to 100 grand. And this was 2010. And you know, they just didn't want to pull the trigger. They didn't want to pull the trigger, and I don't think Justin ever kind of got his hands on the record, you know what I'm saying? And he was transitioning into movies.
Yeah.
It was something that, you know, he was in the system, so it wasn't like it couldn't happen. Mm-hmm. I shouldn't have aimed so high, because that was an idea of mine. Maybe I should have went to Chris, you know, did a Chris Brown record instead of a Justin record, or did a Miguel record, because he was in that system as well. Yeah. Or even a Jason Derulo, he was in that system as well.
Jason Derulo.
I was aiming. I wanted to get this big record and be done with hip hop forever.
No, I feel you. I think that was the MO for us too.
I think that was a product of our era. Like, I remember our manager, well, both our managers sat us down and was like, "Yo, like, do you want to be like this group that kind of sits here and just stays the course, or do you want to try to take this shot?" And then, you know, like, that was the whole thing. It was like, yo, like, even though we were on Raucous, we still kind of had this thought process that, like, okay, like, we're gonna make records, but then we still gonna blow up. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
You blow up by like getting the biggest names on the song. You blow up by getting the name brand directors. I think we always had this way of like, you know, even when we were doing underground shit, we were putting ourselves in like luxury positions, or like still wanted to have that appearance of being a rapper. Whereas I feel like this generation is more like they figured it out in a way of they're like, yo, I'm cool with being a little bit more authentic and being here. But I think we were way more aspirational in the ways that we were looking at things. And it was just like, you know, nah, I can't wear this shirt again. I wore it already. Like it don't matter if it's on TV or not. I can't, you know, so it was just like a thought process. Even when we were recording that bass line, we were wasting money. You know what I mean? But we felt like we had to record a bass line because that's where everybody was at. You know what I mean? So I think there was still like, even though we did some smart things, there were some things that we did that were also stupid. You know what I mean? That I think like our predecessors and some of the people that I mentored, even around the way here in Chicago, saw like certain mistakes we made, and like the Joey Perps and the Vic Mensahs, the Chance the Rappers, like all of those guys that like when they were seeing what we were doing, I think they were like, yo, like why do y'all care so much about labels? Like for us, that was a big deal to have a brand of a label to co-sign us. They're operating from the standpoint of like, fuck all labels, fuck all radio. Let's just create this thing on the internet and have people come to our social media, and we have meetups and we throw our own concerts. You know, I was a lazy rapper. I was like, yo, I get to the city, I just want to go find the chicks. I don't want to promote. Just tell me when the sound check is, you know what I mean? These guys are different. They do everything for themselves. And, you know, I've always felt like Double O was that for me. So it was like two people in one.
Right.
Because initially he was my manager. A lot of people don't know that. Like at the very beginning of it, Double O was managing me. So like that's kind of how our group already operated. So